Hello, this is Kyle from Midnight Paranormal Files, back again with another interesting story. Today we are looking at the Burmender Mansion in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Uh, and here is the story right away. The Burmender Mansion is located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and has no shortage of paranormal activity within the historic Victorian walls. There have been reported sightings of spirits from customers and workers of seeing the same apparitions. However, this is a place where couples go for a romantic getaway at this beautiful bed and breakfast. They will host a variety of events for you within the beautifully decorated walls and of the place. But with the place has so much history, dating back to 1910, there's bound to be a few ghosts wandering around. The history of it is George Bermender moved to Milwaukee in 1857 from Germany and became one of the most famous German American publishers. One of his publications was called the Germania and quickly was gained wealth by reaching our German American people with his paper. Because of his wealth, he decided to build a house for his adult son, which became what is known as the Bermender Mansion. George Bermender Jr. was decorated the decorate this mansion in his artsy Gothic and Victorian style. It was uh, it was as extravagant and as is today, with 3 floors and 8,000 square feet. This house was even built with a ballroom. George Bermonder would not see the fully completed house he had commissioned since he had died in May of 1910. The mansion cost $25,000 to build, which is worth $684,947 today in 2020. That was a few years ago, but anyway, the mansion has had three other owners, including one family thought to have ties to Al Capone before the current owners bought it in 2008. Carl and Robert Hick Hershey had restored and made it into a bed and breakfast, but sold in 1997 to the current owners. The Bermonder Mansion is still a historical bed and breakfast to this day. There are three main ghosts that are sighted within the walls of this place, including one of which may be Bermonder Jr. himself. The other two are women who is seen frequently in the Golden Suite, and a young child who could either be male or female. The previous owner, Miss Hatchery, has had experiences with the woman entirely in the gold suite. She stayed in the suite one night with her dog and heard a voice yelling at her to get the dog off the bed. She also said that the mirror in the bathroom was lifted off the hook and shattered in the bathtub when no one was around or stayed in that room currently. When discovered, there was also droplets of fresh blood where she thought a body from the floor above could be dripping from the ceiling, but there was no explanations. Other guests had reported having intense dreams of a woman while staying in the night in the room. A psychic has visited the suite and reported a woman who called herself Susan. She said she was not a fan of the new fancy decor and no longer wanted dogs to stay in the gold suite. Dogs are no longer allowed in the gold suite, and the spirit has calmed down since then. The second sighted spirit is a man who is believed to be Bermonder Jr. that resides in the George Suite. This is the male presence that haunts that room. and the ones nearby. People reported feeling cold spots and objects that disappear only to be found in the original spots days later. Paranormal investigators reported hearing footsteps and humming outside of the suite's doors. Shadows have been seen inside the room as as an investigator reporting on intense headaches inside only for it to completely go away once stepping outside of the room. A young child that is third most cited ghost inside the mansion is unclear if it is a boy or girl spirit if and is seen on the third floor near the Marin suite. One investigative team recorded an EVP of what sounded like a little girl saying, "Don't leave, help me." Our guests have reported the feeling of someone jumping on the bed while staying in the Maroon suite. Others reported feeling a mischievous or playful presence in the room with them. The child spirit is thought to be the reason for which some guests get locked out of the mansion, or when the doorbell refuses to ring after pushing it. The mansion is full of history and delight all guests that come in. Not every guest believes this place is haunted, but all who comes enjoys their stay. With a mansion this old and with so many different owners, there is bound to be few ghost stories within the walls of the mansion. The paranormal stories will remain just one of the charms of this historical place. Uh, I'll have the link down in the description for this article I found or this blog I found. But anyway, yeah, that's very interesting. This haunted bread and breakfast. I always wanted to do like a haunted bread and breakfast, but I don't know where I want to go for bread and breakfast. I'll I'll find more stuff on this place. Like I got like two articles that I found that are pretty good. Uh, this is going through the same stuff that's a Victorian Gothic English arts and craft style mansion. Uh, but yeah, it's actually a really cool looking place too. If you actually look like at the pictures, it's really cool looking on the inside. Um, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. Okay, so another thing I found on this place is that there during the prohibition time with Al Capone and stuff, there was the second they sold a mansion to a fellow named Sam Pick or whatever, and his brother Ed, and the mansion would indeed be well taken care of. However, when what George Jr. didn't know was that Sam and Ed were working for Al Capone, setting up nightclubs and speakeasies, hoping to get a piece of the black market liquor, gambling, and prostitution businesses in Milwaukee. The Burmenders, who were devout Lutherans, would have been horrified if they have known what has happened as their beloved mansion. That's another interesting story about this place. Is that during the Prohibition, Al Capone must have had like a speakeasy or some kind of nightclub or something at this place too, possibly. Um, the old recreation center was still a favorite for high rollers who liked high stakes gambling, drinking, and bedroom action. So yeah, this was a speakeasy at one point by the notes on this article. And yeah, that's crazy actually that this was, you know, kind of Al Capone was here and stuff. Um, these are some of the hauntings. The Good Doctor very active in fall. Uh, there's a 14-year-old girl that haunts his place. Italian gambler putting in the cold room, but he manages to enjoy himself too. Elizabeth and daughter Caroline, former owners. Sam and Ed pick Evelyn and young Sarah, formal owners. I didn't go through this whole article because it's like a lot of reading. I'll put all the links down for all these websites where I'm looking all this stuff on. But yeah, this is very interesting old bed and breakfast. Like I would like it's just odd. Okay, this is the current owner's notes on the Burmender Mansion. Since buying the Burmender Mansion, we have experienced many personal experiences. We've heard ghostly voices on EVP, seen apparitions, had items disappear and then reappear, and more and more. So have members of our staff and some guests who wanted to contact paranormal investigators have had many personal experiences during their investigations over the years as well. Investigators have come face to face with black and white masses in the fear and catacomb storage areas. Few like Joe Kotu, I don't know how to pronounce that, but has even seen apparitions that looked very real. Psychic investigation teams or individuals never leave disappointed because some spirits is usually willing to come forward and communicate with them. Especially if Tom or I have eventually provoked someone. When we produced a new original play, Speakeasy of Murder, Sam was very upset because the opening monologue from the one of the characters named him as a murderous gangster. He tried to get our attention by moving furniture around in the theater when psychic team from Chicago came to film for a pilot. The psychic medium was able to talk to Sam and hear his grievance that he is wasn't a murderous gangster, but a businessman. We changed a script and made it to a point in the play, and uh, that R times two to describe Sam as a businessman. All who investigate the Burmester must sign a paper stating that they accept the rules of investigations done in our mansion to avoid that kind of trouble we have had in the past with investigators who like to provoke and be disrespectful towards our spirits in their quest to get proof of their presence. This provoking in turn has caused problems for us with certain spirits to the point where we had to bring in our energy healer to work with a medium and free these entities. Joe and Joe the Enforcer was freed from the pain of remembering what has had to happen to him letting him become a spirit, no longer a ghost, trapped in the basement because of the presence of his death. Mike, who was strongly connected to Joe, and little Timmy were filled with guilt again over what they did while alive because of the taunting of the investigators from this group. Mike was no chore boy, and Timmy perhaps thought in his 3-year-old mind that he didn't do what he was supposed to do. There were also evolved to be spirits, no longer afraid of the RSI because of the deeds they did while alive. Perhaps being reminded about what they did because of the taunts of these investigators. We are very careful about who is allowed to come in and investigate, as we know who is here and why. And we don't want to needlessly upset our spirits. People, folks who just want evidence don't care how they capture it. A boatload of hard evidence has been captured over the years by many experienced paranormal investigators and people who are interested in communicating with spirits who the spirits like and can relate to. Our spirit people have their standards. Evidence caught includes many intelligent EVPs all over the mansion, lots of intelligent voices answering questions, light anomalies caught on camera, and even a few trying to manifest, especially in the George Suite and Brumder Theater. Our spirits like communication gadgets of all kinds, flashlights, various types of voice boxes, and even our equipment that can reveal their presence, especially when ion pumps are used. What is never allowed at Bermuda Mansion are seances and Ouija boards. We have had good results by pairing a psychic medium with an experienced paranormal investigator. Recently, in 2013, two female spirits in separate sessions were able to finally tell what had happened to them. The young prostitute and Evelyn, hopefully, they have more peace now. And yes, it is very haunted still to this day. I thought I'd just bring this story up with you guys. I hope you guys like this uh, episode of Midnight Paranormal Podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next one. It's very interesting. And I'll have the links down below in the description for the websites.